I'm just saying, you had to make some right turns, or left turns, or right, and it is tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, but no, but you sit here today. Some people didn't walk in May that you got there 4 years ago.
Yeah.
These are the things. I mean, like I said, for praying for them, but you see it. I mean, I can't tell you how many people didn't. I mean, we had a big class when we came in, state. Right? They went there. They went there. Matter of fact, I mean, let's get it right. It took me 4.5 years to graduate, from college. I'm just saying. All right. So it's about the grind too, right? And also getting, understanding, what your major may be, what you want your major to be at first, and then it might switch up, But one of the things by sitting here today, very positive influence on young generations. You don't think it, but it is. It is. It's just one of those things. I mean, just say it real quick, real funny. Josiah called me to figure out where the address was over here, and I told him, and he said I'll be there. So he hung up, but somehow he called back. So when he called back, he's like, "Yeah, I gotta go to this live stream." But it's about showing up, though. That's what I'm getting at. I mean, I'm glad he's here. It's about showing up, though, right? I mean, he did discuss he was getting a little monetary stuff. I heard it. I hung up after that, though. But I'm just saying. But still, I mean, one of those things is, but being a leader, going against the grain, right, and being a positive influence. That's what it takes. But you all have gifts. We all do have gifts and talents we could use that are very unique to everyone, right? But we can inspire others with it. I mean, like I said before, writer, artist, I mean, think about it. Basketball player, track, right? I mean, that's something to me. I mean, because it's hard. Tell me a little bit about, your social media responsibility and the impact that you may have on that. Because we always talk about social media.
Group chats. Social media.
Is social media bad, or the things we're getting on bad?
It's bad. It's the things that we're getting on.
People on the app and stuff on social media.
So here's the thing. So just like anything else, right? I mean, if you were to get in trouble, it wouldn't just be Don you get in trouble. It would be Concord basketball player get in trouble. West Virginia Tech, track star get in trouble. This is what happens when you get, indulged. And it's hard. I mean, I'm not saying it isn't, but, it is something with responsibility. But once again, lean back to what you've already done. You had to get up. You meet some, probably some friends didn't go to school. They said they was and didn't go. Cut out. That's the way it is. I mean, right? So you have some responsibility. And like I said before, if it gets too much, seek help. That's all you gotta do. Seek help. Ask for help. Nobody knows you're struggling unless you say it. Right? But one way we can, maybe, curve against struggling is form good habits. Tell me some good habits that you formed while you were in state. Good habits that you didn't have before.
Oh, I would say the biggest one for me was like managing my time. So back to the social media thing. I spend a lot of time on TikTok. I love TikTok. But I found myself like scrolling for like hours. I had work to do. We just sitting there on TikTok, watching TV, doing stuff. So I had to learn how to manage my time. I ended up having to actually go to the library because I would be like, I'm gonna study in my room. I took a nap. I got up, went back to I never studied in my room. So I ended up having to carve out time to go to the library, get away from people and actually study. I feel like that's probably the biggest one. Because time management is probably the biggest thing in college. It's you have all this free time. Even with you're not gonna be in practice all the time. So you'll have free time. It's what you do with it. So making sure you have time to get off by yourself and actually study. And just develop a good routine.
Because you'll find this funny. Remember I said you don't have any money to do anything, right?
Right.
But somehow there's always something to do other than work. Now that makes no sense what I just told you, but it is. You know why? Because I'm like, man, I wonder what they're doing down in that room. What are they doing? I mean, this is what they're playing cards or something like that. I mean, I'm just telling you. You don't want to do work. You too.
I mean, I found whenever I was in school,
I wasn't working with a lot of funds either, you know. I will say I was thankful at the time. My mom looked out for me at times when I needed things and things like that. But I was definitely one that was searching for something to do. So I mean, I find myself in random places at random times, just doing random.
We were talking about those stories.
I told you something.
But that's the thing. I mean, letting you know. I mean, don't go down that road though. Either. I mean, don't go that way, but stay this one. Form good habits, right? Of going to the library that you don't really want to do. You keep doing these things, and then you'll see that it becomes a good habit, not so much a bad one.
I will say it took me not having those habits and, meeting the consequences of my actions, me to develop those habits. Cause like my first year was not, the library did not see me my first year. A lot of classrooms didn't see me with my first semester there. But I learned really quickly that they don't really play with you in college.
No.
And that's thousands of dollars on the line. So when you really put it into perspective, like you gonna pay all this money and then waste my parents' money, it helps. It's more of an incentive to get it together.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
I didn't start off that way at all, but to pick it up, it really made an improvement.
Not a knock on any of you, but every one of you have worked a job. Okay. The key word is job. Not saying anything's wrong with what you chose, right? But do you want to do that for the next 10 to 15 years?
No, sir.
Guess what though? Not knocking not knocking those that have. So I'm not knocking that, but think about it. Always remember that then when you don't want to get up and hit that, when you hit that snooze button and not going to school. Always remember that because that's what it is. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, but guess what? I think you drove in the car today. You know, I mean, some jobs. I'm just saying, not being funny, but some jobs you can barely afford ends meet when it comes to. What do I mean by that? Food and just shelter. That's it. We ain't talking about no car. You know what I mean? So we have to understand. I mean, if we want better things, we have to work for them. I mean, it's also one of those things as well. So that's just a little bit, we're talking about it. Okay, I want to get into, some quick advice. All right, some rapid fire encouragement. Right, that's what we're going at. And that's the thing. We already gave you one. I mean, it's just one of those things. Tell me your favorite high school memory.
Ooh.
And then I got another question there.
Y'all just left high school. Y'all got it.
We went to just a lot of them. Can it be a sports memory?
Yeah, please.
All right, I can make that real quick. Probably be being your favorite Charlotte team when we were in relay teams. I don't know why.
Good.
Shoot. Smoke them out the water.
G-Dub game. I mean, I had a double.
Or the lunch table talks.
Yeah, lunch table. That was a good time.
I'll say when we beat East my sophomore year to go to sectionals, or the win sectionals after the whole thug thing. Yeah.
That's good.
Right.
What about y'all? I'm just curious.
But before that, before I tell you,
Trying to play.
before I tell you, I ain't gonna tell you that. Before I tell you, you were going to answer that question differently.
Right.
You had to think about the positive things. Because I know you're jokes. So you was getting ready to dig it.
I ain't gonna. Nothing negative. No negativity. Probably positivity.
Okay, I mean, that's it. For me, I'll just tell you, high school memory, I'm gonna tell you real quick, and I'll let them go. I never knew anything about class rank. I never knew what it was. I know this sounds crazy. I never knew what it was, right? So one day I came into school, they got all these people's names on the board. I'm like, well, shoot, that must not be for me. I didn't see mine till way down there. And I was like, man, it just, I don't know. It was, I can't say it was embarrassing. Only the fact that I just didn't know, but I didn't work as hard as I should have in high school. I'm not gonna lie, but it did make me think, be kind of apprehensive about going to college. But shoot, I did better in college than I did in high school. I mean, I wouldn't tell anybody to take that route. Don't get me wrong, but it's just one of those things. I think, the high school I went to did prepare me for college. I believe that. I went to GW, so it did prepare me, but I didn't put my best foot forward. So if anybody here is not putting the best foot forward in school, because he's in school, Jazz in school currently now, do that. do that, because I know it seems like it's tedious, or it does mean something. It does mean something, and that's one of the things that we talk about as well. You got one word of encouragement? One word.
I think it's been the theme of the day at all three of their what they've said and has worked, and is discipline.
One word that's hard for me. Yeah, that's real hard.
I gave
for
like
me.
20. So.
I'll say goals.